Come read with me. I'm reading from my second book, It Takes Two. A little bit me and a little bit you. This is Violet, and we're reading in the chapter, Mr. Postman. It was about the middle of August, and I had been living at Joyce's for a few months. Each day around 4 o'clock, I would sit out on the porch and wait for the mailman to arrive. Dell was good to write, and I lived just to receive his letters. I would write and tell him what I had done each day and how much I missed him. He would avoid telling me anything about the war, but would write and tell me how much he missed me. I was used to receiving mail regularly from Dell. Both of us wrote almost daily. Then his letters stopped coming. I didn't receive any mail from Dell for about 3 weeks. I didn't know what to think. I prayed that he was not injured or killed in action. Every day, I sat on the porch and waited for the mailman to bring the mail. Every day, he didn't bring a letter. I was scared. I was disappointed. I was worried. I was faithful to write my daily letters, though, thinking that perhaps his letters had been lost in the mail. There was often a long delay in the mail service to and from Vietnam, especially when they were in transit from one place to another. The reason that Dell's letters had stopped arriving was that in August, he and 6 other men in his squad had been sent out on a cleanup mission which they knew might cost them their lives. They were presumed to be missing in action. Army policy at that time was to hold all outgoing mail of soldiers thought to be dead, or MIA, missing in action. I continued to make him cookies and send them, packed in coffee tins cushioned with popcorn. Had I known, I might have sent him other things, but I did not know what he liked or what he might have needed. So when he got a package from me, it was sure to be cookies. The mail took a long time to get to Vietnam, and from there to me. When I sent him care packages, I would package the items in popcorn without butter. It made great insulation, and he could then eat the popcorn. Unfortunately, it took a long time for anything to get to him, that the popcorn was usually stale and other items would sometimes be moldy. While I was living in Redwood City, I found a recipe for hot cinnamon apple slices. It was kind of like candied apples. They were made with the hot cinnamon heart candies, boiled in water and sugar. The sliced apples went into the liquid until they softened, and then they were laid out on a drying rack to cool. I shipped them to him, but they were spoiled by the time they got to him, he told me. Don't send anything else that can spoil. I asked him what he wanted me to send him, but he never said. He told his sister instead, and she sent him Tabasco sauce, alcohol, and other things to spice up the sea rations. I would make recordings of my voice and send them to Dell. They were pretty dull, useless, unless you happened to be the husband who was receiving them from across the world. Mostly, they just reiterated over and over how much I missed him and loved him. In order to actually hear each other's voices, recording reel-to-reel tapes was the only way. We didn't have any way to call. Some businesses would do recordings for free so the families could send them to the GIs overseas. We got a reel-to-reel tape recorder while I was in Redwood City and started recording tapes to send to Dell. He also sent one to me. I'm not sure how he managed to listen to the tapes or record his own. On our next trip to Fresno, we took the reel-to-reel player with us and recorded all the kids in the family, and I took the recorder with me to Clovis and recorded Dell's family also. Most of us didn't know what to say, but we had fun making the recordings. What a treasure to be able to hear the voice of loved ones so far away. I spent a lot of time playing with my nephew, and since James had bright red hair, many people thought he was my son. He was just beginning to talk and couldn't say his consonants very well. When Joyce's husband was home in the evenings, I would retreat to my room to write. When I was in the room writing my letters, James would come and pound on the door, yelling, "Ayet," which was his way of saying Violet. Then I would have to open the door and go out to play with him or let him in.